Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you, wherever you are. Nations went into lockdowns, not because we believed that you can stop the virus. We went into lockdowns to ensure that medical facilities are not overwhelmed. Suddenly in a city, 1 million people get sick, then they will die because of lack of medical attention. We wanted them to get sick slowly, in installments, so that everybody can be attended to and we can bring down the fatality rate, which to some extent we have succeeded. In many countries, people are talking about freedom, that I have freedom. Yes, you have. Who said you and me are not free to die? We're free to die. But the problem is, there are others who want to live. If everybody wanted to die, no problem. But there's a whole lot of people who want to live. So, responsible behavior becomes the element of success in a situation like this. Wherever I go, people are asking me, Sadhguru, how to deal with such a terrible situation, hard situation? Well, you have forgotten how life has been for every generation till now. If you do not know, or if you cannot look back too far away, just look back at the last 2 or 3 generations, 20th century. What people have gone through. Early 20th century, there were famines in large parts of the world. World War I, Spanish flu, World War… depression, World War II. Well, you had Korean War, Vietnam War, lots of things. You're not facing anything like that. This is a soft ball. This pandemic is a soft ball, but we have become so frail in our minds that we cannot handle it. I want you to understand. I want you to just look back and see what is the experience of people where their whole cities were flattened in World War II and they built back within 15, 20 years' time. Hello? A significant part of the population died. There was nobody who did not lose somebody who's their family or friend. Everybody lost someone and they lost everything they had and they built back and put the world back on rails. You don't have anything like that. And there is so much technology. For the first time you can work from home, you can keep your friendships from home, you can even have a love affair. Hello? Yes, new ones, because you have a lot of time at home and no risk of even meeting them and getting into any trouble. But we are complaining and complaining like never before, because both in body and mind, a large segment of the population has become very frail. Not because of old age, they've just become very frail because of too much comfort, too much convenience. And without using their body or brains, they can still live reasonably well, so much facility. It's time to understand that no matter what we create, our apple cart could be turned around. Simple situations can do that. When everything is well, you're well means nothing. It's not because of you, it's because of the situation. Even when things are dead wrong, you're still well. This means you are of some value as a human being. This is the time to display that. Fortunately, in countries like India, where the population is of a certain density, the recovery rate has become phenomenally good. Fatality rates have dropped significantly, and recovery rates are going up by the day. That means people are… their systems are getting little stronger, medical systems are beginning to function at manifold higher levels than what they normally function. So this is what needs to happen everywhere. That one thing is, individual human beings should get stronger for sure, because if you want to live strong, you need both physiological and psychological frameworks which are of a certain stability and strength, otherwise you cannot. Whatever you wish to do, even if you just wish to sit and meditate, it's very important that you have a strong system, otherwise it won't let you do it. Europe, they thought they are beyond these things because they are Europeans, but it's getting them. This every population in the world needs to understand. At least virus is not racist. Whoever is negligent, it gets them. Yes, some good things I'm saying. It doesn't discriminate what is the color of your skin. Anyway, it gets you if you're not, conscious about it. The new epicenter of pandemic has become Europe once again. That's where it flared up, it went down and people thought that's it, and I think the beer drinking season in certain countries in Europe has put pandemic back into full action once again. But we are not satisfied with the number of people dying because of the virus infection. We want to add, we want to do our own contributions, human beings, I'm saying. So, we're trying to kill, we're trying to shoot, we're trying to knife people, we're even beheading people, all right? We thought the age of beheading is over, but people are beheading. Why you want to separate head and body of any person, I cannot understand. But not only beheadings have happened, openly people are tweeting and talking how we should behead someone who doesn't agree with us. This used to be the way of medieval kings and tyrants, that they had a problem with working heads. If any head works clearly, they would behead him because they understood head is trouble. Working heads are trouble because they will figure out things. They will say things which are true but not convenient for you. This used to be the practice. But once again, beheading is part of 21st century's conversation. Who should be beheaded, who should not be beheaded? Can you believe this? Where are we going, huh? So, human head has taken millions of years of evolution to get to this point. Nobody should ever see somebody's head is a problem, because you can turn the head around. If you turn the head around, it's a solution. Yes, all human problems are also manufactured here. All solutions are also manufactured here, making humanity in such a way that human heads generate solutions, not problems, needs to happen. That work we don't do, because that needs lots of work. But if you're joyful, everything is fine. But if you're in a enjoyment mode, if what you have a formula for enjoyment, if that formula doesn't work, you are miserable. Right now, this pandemic, you're all alive, I can see, though you're looking no expression on your face. That's because you're masked, okay, it's okay. You're alive. That's a good enough reason to be joyful, I think. Hello? Hello? Is that good enough reason to be joyful? But Sadhguru, do you know my problems? Yes, there is a state without problems. You want to get there? Because if you don't read the science of life properly, you will get there. Everybody gets there. But it's not a race that you have to get there sooner than others. Hello? Those of you who believe you are on a race with life, now pandemic has slowed you down. It's not taken your life, it's just slowed you down and you're suffering it. Why? Because you are on a race. If you believe life is a race, you must get to the finish line sooner than everybody else, isn't it? Hello? Is that what you want to do, I'm asking? Is that what you wish to do? You want to get there sooner than others? So, you must read the science of life within yourself and around yourself. It just takes not a philosophy, not an ideology, not some supernatural power, just a little bit of attention to the life. So, as if what the virus is doing is not enough, human beings are trying to assist the virus by killings and suicides. Let's stop this. Let us at least demonstrate that at least nature believes, even if you don't believe, at least nature believes you are the most evolved product of nature's millions of years of work on this planet. Hello? Nature believes that, right? Hello? No? As far as Mother Earth is concerned, she believes you are her finest product. If people see you, they must clap their hands like they clap hands for Ferraris. Hello? Even if you're not that fast, it's okay. But you are the finest product of this planet's billion years of work. Yes or no? Yeah. Should you not display that? That you're the finest product? A certain quality must be there, it's very important. There are certain aspects to life. That is, a certain dimension of life opens up to you only when you pay a certain level of attention and do what is needed. An endless source of what you think is good will happen to you if you want… if you think joy is a good thing. Where do you think endless source is? In the food that you eat, in the beer that you drink, in whatever else that you do in your life? Endless source. Endless source can only happen from within, isn't it? About making all these things legal, well, there are people and forces which will benefit heavily from this are involved in this process. And it could be controversial, but it is true that a whole lot of people are willing to… I know a lot of people that have been… young people who have been brought to me by their parents, only when they were threatened with imprisonment did they go for rehab, otherwise they will not go. When the option is either prison or rehabilitation, they chose rehabilitation instead of prison. Well, it is not in my consciousness to have any human being locked up for anything, for that matter. But at the same time, declaring those chemicals which disable human beings as legal itself is a crime, if you ask me. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you must look back. Right now, everybody is watching China or the rise of China with great interest and trepidation, depending upon who you are. But in early 20th century, they say nearly 70% of the Chinese population was addicted to opium, which is encouraged by various forces. If you do not know this, the British fought 3 opium wars with China, wanting rights to distribute opium. I know many families in India who were used as the trading routes from Afghanistan and Pakistan, where this was grown, to China. The Indian businessmen took this up and many families became super rich and still they are very rich. Nearly 70% addicted to opium. Abject poverty came to that nation and that culture. Well, it took killing of a few million people and a violent revolution to fix that. I am not condoning anything nor approving anything, but this is a fact. When a population sinks into addictions, then it will lose all worth and all value of what they do. In this country, 4, 5 generations of people have worked their lives out to build this nation to what it is today. Now, you don't have to do much. If you do, it'll be good for the world, but otherwise at least you can sit back and enjoy what these generations of people worked for. Now, you want to disable yourself. You think it's your right to disable yourself by using chemicals which will intoxicate you, and there is substantial evidence to show that it disables your mental process. There is no question about this. It doesn't matter because researchers can be funded by anybody and they can make up what they want. It doesn't matter who says what. Chemically intoxicating yourself, including alcohol, I'm saying, in some way disables you. You think it's all right to be partially disabled, that's up to you, because then you can park without problems. Hello? At least in the parking lot, you have privileges. This is the whole problem. This is what… when I read this poem also, I don't know if you got that line. This is what is the problem with the world. People who don't make anything of themselves think and believe they will be welcomed somewhere else into a great hallowed place somewhere up there. The same is happening here. Well, a nation which was built from scratch with much pain on all sides, and these last 3 to 5 generations of people who worked their lives off 12, 14 hours a day without a day's break, many of them, believe me, they built this nation. Well, you may agree with the way it was built or not built, that is a political thing, but you cannot deny they built a great nation. Now, You want a whole generation of people on intoxicants, stoned out. This is the most terrible thing you can do to the generations that have gone by, those who worked to create what they created. If you value that, well, whether they make it legal or illegal, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't go in that direction. You must understand that you're doing these things not because, like you come up and tell me, I can use magic mushroom and cure depression. First I'm asking you, why the hell are you depressed? I know this will bring a lot of acrimony to me, because there are certain people in the world who claim depression is their right. See, there are psychological ailments which are pathological in nature, which, not that they cannot do anything, there's very little somebody can do about their condition. There are people like that, unfortunately. It is there. But a large number of them, because of their own attitudes and their own responses to the world around them, they make themselves sick. Physical health, let's handle physical health. Is it true that now at least you're realizing that if you eat properly or carefully, let me put it that way in America, not proper, carefully, and if you put in enough exercise, walking, running, whatever, yoga, anything, at least you walk to your office every day, is it true that you will physically, whatever many other people are susceptible to, you will not succumb to those things? Hello? Is it true? Simply eating sensibly, living little bit sensibly, does it enhance your physical well-being? Then how come you believe living sensibly will not enhance your mental well-being? How come you think it's your right? It's not your right. It is nobody's right to be sick, because if you're sick, if you become sick, we will take care of you. But if you think it's your right to be sick, no, because you are a burden on your family, on your community, on your nation, on your world, on everything you are a burden if you don't stand up on your own 2 feet, 2 legs, isn't it? So this goes for mental ailment also, but my words may sound very cruel to somebody who is suffering mental ailments, because how do I do it? Yes, there is a problem. The problem is of delivery, not that there are no solutions, the problem is of delivery. That is, can we deliver the tools for human well-being in such a large scale? We can if a lot more people stood up to make it happen. Right now, only a few people are concerned about it, so delivery is minimal. Because delivery is not like pharmaceuticals, delivery is not like food. Right now, because I mentioned food, let me tell you, yesterday I was in Arizona for a conference, the first conference I attended physically in the last 6 months. And they were all sitting for breakfast, they asked me to come for breakfast. Well, I don't eat breakfast in those places, but I went there to see them. So then there is some doctor who's asking me about food. I said, see, right now on this table, this is a top-class hotel, all right? The kind of food that you have on this table, just about everything here is at least 1 month old. It is. Bread was baked 1 month ago, the animals that you're eating were killed at least 1 month ago, everything there, except the fruit. Everything else, or even maybe that is also 1 month old, I don't know, possibly. I'm saying when you eat food like this, you will generate so much inertia in your system. Countering this itself is a battle. When you create so much inertia in your body, How do you expect your mind will not be a little depressed? How? If you want to be mentally in a certain state, every cell in your body should pulsate with life. If all of them are pulling you down, well, your mind will become depressed. There are many ways to look at it. This is not about being insensitive to people's suffering, but you thinking making all hallucinogenic drugs legal is a solution. Well, you are in many ways writing the downfall, you're scripting the downfall of your own culture, nation and generation in many ways. Because once it becomes legal in America, the pressure will build up on all the other nations. Make it legal, make it legal. I've already told you about how in India, university students are telling me, Sadhguru, why don't you influence the government to make marijuana legal? They're asking me to influence. I told them this nearly 3 years ago, at least 2.5 years ago. I said, why marijuana? We'll make everything legal, which is what right now one state in the United States has done. I talked about this 2.5 years ago. I said, let's make everything legal, cocaine legal, LSD legal, meth legal, whatever you want. Whatever list you have, we will make everything legal. But why are you asking me this question? Because you want to go to the university smoked up. They say, why not? Then I go through a process with them and then I come to the place where I say, suppose you need a surgery today, unimportant, a major surgery, and the surgeon comes smoked up. You willing? You say, oh no. So you clearly understand your faculties will be lowered. How did you come to this thing that lowered faculty is high? So I said, I'm not saying don't smoke. From now on, when you smoke, you just say, I'm down. Don't say, I'm high. Because with lowered faculties, if you believe you're high, you're crazy. When your faculties are lowered, you're down, you're not up. Hello? But when you believe going down is up, then that's a tragedy. Yes? That's a serious tragedy in one's life, that you believe going down is up, losing your faculties is gaining life. No. It is by enhancing your faculties that your life will go up. Your experience of life will go up only by enhancing faculties, not by lowering your faculties. If you can see better, hear better, smell better, taste better, touch better, feel better, life is at a higher level. If you go that high on the senses, then we can tell you how to go beyond the senses. If you go down, how to take you anywhere? Down is the only way. When everybody knows these things are addictive and it takes away your faculties, no, only on Saturdays I have no faculties, Monday morning I'm okay. All right, 2 days in a week out of 7 days, your faculties are down. Just calculate how many days in your lifetime are you down. Is that a good way to live, I'm asking? Especially when you have no activity which is… this is a strange question, I never understood this initially when I came to United States, but then I figured it. Everybody would ask me when I first came, what do you do for a living? You're just doing this like this, but what do you do for a living? I said, I just live, I don't do anything for a living. But you got to pay bills. How many bills you generate is your choice, isn't it? Hello? There's no standard number of bills you have to generate. How many how many bills you generate is your choice, and to pay that something you have to do. Well, even recently somebody asked me, well, you have no bills to pay? I said, God damn it, I have more bills to pay than anybody else, son. I have a few thousand people full-time on me, I have more bills to pay, you know. I'm paying school fees for a few thousand children, I'm taking care of food for thousands of people every day, so I have more bills to pay. It is only that you think generating bills and paying bills is life, because you have become a slave of the economic process. The economic process demands that you must buy something today, otherwise how will the economy be up? Hello? Now slowly they are working on your mind. They have algorithms where they know exactly what smell tantalizes you, what kind of sound tantalizes you, what kind of sights tantalize you, and they will push that. You want to call your husband, it pops up. This particular dress that you went and looked in the shop and you forgot about, but it pops up and says, this is it, discount 25%. You forget your husband and go after the dress. I'm saying, they are following you up. Hello? They are following you up to such an extent where slowly they know more about you than you know about yourself. Yes? And this is dangerous. Forever, because this nation was formed by people's agreement that we will come together as a nation, but our freedom, government should not touch. To such an extent, you even have a Second Amendment. That means, if the government misbehaves, you can bear arms against the government. No nation in the world has this right. No citizen in the world. So, freedom was more important than nationality, freedom was more important than many, many things which other people value. Now what happened to you? Somebody's algorithms decide what you eat, what you wear, whatever nonsense you do, everything, they're slowly taking you there. It's just a question of time before you will go and have a chip implanted, where they will only tell you how much protein you need today, okay, you order this now. Because anyway, your concerns have become like this, so naturally when you behave like a machine, best it's controlled by somebody. A human being has to be conscious, only then is human. If you behave like machine, you will be naturally controlled. So drugging people, legally or illegally, it doesn't matter which way you do it, legal, illegal is only a social issue. Drugging people, one way or the other, right now we've reached a place, if you want to be healthful, you need chemicals. You want to be peaceful, you need chemicals. You want to be joyful, you need chemicals. You want to be ecstatic, you need chemicals. For everything you need chemicals. So in that condition, this seems to be all right. I am not talking only against these hallucinogenic drugs, I am even saying pharmaceuticals should not be at the scale at which they are. They are at the scale at which they are because people are living badly. Because an individual person or a society or a nation seeks affluence mainly for this. Initially, it's a choice of nourishment is all they're thinking about. Once nourishment is taken care of, they're looking at a choice of lifestyles. The most affluent nation on the planet, which has an enormous choice of nourishment, but they choose to eat food which is minimum 1 to 3 months old, an enormous choice of lifestyles, but they live in boxes which are continuously at whatever temperature they want. Now, 70% of American population is on prescription medication. Whether it came prescribed or you bought it in the back street, I'm saying to be healthful, to be peaceful, to be joyful, to be blissful, if you're using chemicals, you are going down the chute. So my problem is not just with these recreational drugs. My problem is with you using chemicals even to grow food. You're using chemicals to do everything. This is going to hurt. No, we are using plant-based Sadhguru, you don't know all these things, intricacies. They were the previous, the 60s, you come from 60s, your generation was only smoking the leaf, now we smoke the bud. Well, I want you to understand, all the chemicals also only came from the earth. Nobody imported any chemical from Mars. Hello? Even the chemicals also, so-called chemicals also, came from the planet Earth only, right? Hello? Maybe it got processed, but still from planet Earth. So, it doesn't matter, maybe the level of harm may be less, the level of impact and addiction levels may be little less, that's not the point. A human being is at his or her peak only when all our faculties are at our best and we are at the highest level of alertness and awareness. That is when a human being can be at their best. If you want to dispute that, all the best for you. My concern is, don't take America down. Because if all Americans go down, America goes down. Don't do that, because generations of people worked to make this happen. Don't destroy it so soon.